and today I'm going to show you how to set up and play Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef Part 1. This game is a 1 to 4 player worker placement kind of dice throwing fighting game. It's kind of an interesting take on worker placement because you send your heroes out to go fight and do challenges and to be the best hero they can be. There's dice upgrades. There's all sorts of cool stuff. It's not a heavy worker placement game, so anyone can kind of have fun with this as a nice change of pace for worker placement. So let's get into this and I'll show you how to set up and play. Here is the setup for a basic or beginner game. We're gonna have our Citadel of Time board in the middle here with the compass side up. If you use the other side, that'll be the advanced side. And for the beginner basic setup, we are using the standard challenge cards here, shuffled up, and we place 5 out in these spaces above here. If you want to play the advanced game, there are legendary challenge cards to use instead. Next, we put our danger dice here. There are 3. There's a white, a yellow, and a pink. If you notice on the board itself, it actually shows the white should be on the first spot, the yellow should be on this second spot, and the pink should be on this 4th spot here. We then have our current round marker, this little guy here. He's gonna go on the first round spot there on the board. Next, each player is gonna take one of their action discs, place 1 underneath the round 2 spot here and 1 underneath the round 4 spot here. And then our Citadel of Time area is ready to go. For the fold area here, we are gonna put this blue die up at the top where there's a space for it here. For the fold, we are going to take the hard monster deck, look for the monsters that have this compass symbol. That is for the beginner and basic setup. We're gonna take those, we're gonna shuffle these guys up. We're gonna place them face down in this spot here. Then we're gonna find the easy monster fold cards, and we're gonna look for the monsters that have the compass symbol, again, the basic beginner setup symbol. We're gonna shuffle these guys up, and we're gonna place them on top of the hard monsters that we already have here. We are going to flip the top card up, place it in this first spot here, and then the fold is ready. The Colosseum is pretty easy. We're gonna shuffle up these stunt cards here, and we're gonna place them in this spot here. So we'll get these shuffled up, place it here, and this island is ready to go. Lamar Stadium is also pretty easy to set up. We're gonna take our boat guy here. It's gonna go on this start spot here, and this is also ready to go. For the Droska ring, we are gonna shuffle up the market cards and place 3 cards face up here, and then the Droska ring is also ready. For our setup, we are randomly picking a spot for the judge to go. We're gonna send him on the Colosseum here. Now near the board, we wanna keep our fruit, our shells, and our dice. We're now going to give each player a character board to play with here. And since we are going to be kind of doing the basic beginner setup here, we're going to start with this first game recommendations. We have the Master of Time goal card and the Traverser character card. So this is our goal card here, and we will keep it face up for a beginner basic game. And then we have the Traverser card here face up. We are going to keep this player's deck shuffled up and nearby for when they need to draw cards. We're going to keep the hit point markers here nearby in a little pile. To begin with, each character will get 2 action tiles to start. So we'll have their 2 action tiles and their standee ready to go. They will also get 2 dice to start. It will go on the active dice side here. We're then going to make sure all of our character traits are set to the beginner spot here, which is this 1 spot. There's a little dot here as a beginner spot. That's where we're going to set all of the dials to. Each player will then get 2 fruit, 2 shells, and 2 shells to start on their shell card here. We're going to place one of our hit mark tokens up at the start up here on the champion board. And then the first player will get the first player marker. And the second player will get 1 extra fruit. The third player will get 1 extra shell, and the 4th player will get 1 fruit and 1 shell extra. We'll also keep a player aid nearby so we can understand our turns and see the dice upgrades on the back. It's a very handy little cheat sheet to have here. Last but not least, if you are playing solo or 2-player game, you're going to add this board onto the play area here. The solo mode will show you the conditions for playing in solo, and the 2-player mode will have a slight variation in the setup and how it's going to play. On your player board, you'll notice there are 4 traits here. We have focus, spirit, resilience, and synergy. When you start the game, they all start at this 1 level here with this dot. And as you play and attempt challenges, you will be able to increase each of these traits as you go. Focus determines how many dice you can roll when you attempt a challenge or when you attempt to fight. Spirit trait will determine what level on your stunt power card you can use. The synergy trait will let you gain more character cards you can use as you play. And resilience will tell you how many dice you can refresh and upgrade at the end of the round. As you increase the traits, you will increase their rewards. So with refresh and upgrade dice, right now you would be able to refresh and upgrade 1 at the end of your round. And as you go up, you can do 2. And here is still 2. Here is still 2, but you now gain a victory point at the end of the game. And as you can see, all the traits have more victory points as you increase them. So there is an advantage for the end game scoring. You'll also notice we have a place for our active dice and a place for our spent dice. And we can have a maximum of 6 dice total between these 2 areas. And as you complete the challenges, those completed cards will go in these slots on your player board. And on the player board, it shows for every unique set of the challenges that you complete, you will be able to move 2 places on the champion board. Each character will have a shield card. You can move 1 shell that you own onto the shield to block up to 2 X's on a danger die. You can spend 4 shells from the shield to set a die to any face. So you could spend these 4 here and set one of your die to any side you would like. You can spend 6 of your shells from the shield to refresh 2 of your dice. So you can move 2 of your dice from the spent dice to the active dice side, but you will not upgrade them. On the back of your player aid sheet is the dice upgrade helper sheet. On the novice track, you can upgrade 1 level to the initiate die here. You can go on the red track or the blue track. If you want to upgrade your initiate die, you can upgrade it to the elite. And from the elite goes to the guild. And there are 2 possible guild die that you can upgrade to, on the blue path or the red path. Down here, you'll see the danger dice for the first round, and it'll show you how many empty spaces there are and how many X's there are. So for the danger dice for round 1, there's 6 X's there and 2 blank spots. For rounds 2 and 3, you're going to be using the yellow die. There is 1 double X, 5 single X's, and 2 blank spots. For round 4, definitely gets a little harder with the pink one. We have 3 double X's, 4 single ones, and 1 blank. So anytime you're able to upgrade your die, this is a good referral sheet to help you figure out which direction you want to go. The overall game is pretty straightforward. You are going to be sending your characters out to these different islands to do things like in a typical worker placement. You're going to be scoring most of your points by these challenge cards and by fighting the monsters over in the fold. Each character will also have a goal that they can work towards to gain points for the end game. This one is to complete synergy challenges. I would get 7 points for completing 4 of them, 10 points for completing 5 challenges. So it gives me a goal to work towards while I'm playing. All these other islands are going to help you get stuff to fight, upgrade your dice, give you advantages with cards, and get you more fruit and more shells. So when you do fight, you have some protection and you can add dice. Tidal Blades is played over 4 rounds depicted on our round tracker here. In clockwise order, starting with the first player, players will send their characters to take actions at an island, use an island's bonus effect, and compete in challenges. And they will take turns until they have no action discs remaining. On your turn, you will take your character and 1 action disc and visit an island of your choice. As you can see, there are action spaces on each of the islands out here. So let's take a quick look. Here we have these 3 options here, this 1 option here. Here we have these 4 options here where we can land. On Lamar Stadium, we have these 3 spots here for actions. On the Droska ring, we have these 3 spaces for actions. And for the fold, we have these 2 spaces for actions. Now, as you can see, some of these are on a solid white background. That means only 1 action tile can be placed on these spaces. But there are some spaces that have a dotted line around them on the Citadel of Time and on the fold. More than one action tile may be placed on the dotted circle action spaces. If you place your action tile on the meditation spring, you are able to refresh any number of dice you want. You will not upgrade them, you will just refresh them. So the ones that are in the spent spot here will then move over to the active dice spot here. Go to the Droska ring. You can go to any of these 3 action spaces here. This one for the Desert Caravan is a refresh dice icon. But where the Citadel of Time one is an infinite number of dice you can refresh, for the Desert Caravan, you can refresh the number of dice based off of your resilience track here. Send my character to the Desert Caravan and refresh based off of my resilience. My resilience is set at 3, so I could refresh all 3 die. Again, not upgrading, just refreshing and move to the active side of my board. Now on Lamara Stadium, if I were to go to the Palm Plaza action space, I would get 2 fruit and the first player token. Each island also has a bonus effect that is right underneath the name of the island. So under the Citadel of Time, you can choose or draw 2 challenges. Under the Chronoseum, you can draw a stunt card. Under Lamara Stadium, you can advance the boat and collect the rewards. For Droska Ring, our island bonus is I can buy a card from the market or gain a fruit. And these are the market cards here. The cost of a market card is fruit is on the left. So this card would cost me 2 fruit to purchase. And I would get 1 shell and an extra challenge card of my choosing. And for the fold, there is no island bonus. You are just gonna fight. If on our turn we were to visit the Chronoseum, the Lamara Stadium, or Droska Ring, we would land there. The action, and this action says we advance the boat 1 space. We would get that shell. And then our island bonus is to advance the boat and take that reward, which is move up 1 on the champion board here. And then optionally, you can attempt a challenge. Now, if you have a challenge in your hand, like I have the deep dive here, and it has a corresponding island icon for the one that you're on, you can attempt this challenge while you are here. As you can see, we also have a corresponding challenge card for the Chronoseum and a corresponding challenge card for the Droska Ring. If you were to visit these areas, you would have that option as part of your turn to attempt these challenges. If the judge happens to be on the island that you are attempting your challenge, you will get an extra bonus reward for completing the challenge. I'm going to show you an example of attempting a challenge on your turn. For our turn, we're going to send our character to the Chronoseum because we have a challenge card for the Chronoseum that we want to try to complete. So knowing these are the die successes that we're going to need to get, we are going to go and land on this action space here. That's the guard tower. It gives us the initiate die that has the resilience and synergy icons on it. So let's go ahead and send our guy here. We're going to pick up one of these initiate blue die. It's going to go in our active die space here. We then draw a stunt card for our island bonus. This will go in our hand since we can't use it right now. We are going to choose the challenge card we want to try to attempt to complete. So we've chosen this Broken Bridge challenge here. On the challenge card, you'll see that there are symbols that you have to match, which are enclosed by a filled in circle, and there will be bonus matches with the dotted line. To complete the challenge, you have to match your dice with the enclosed circles, and these dotted line ones are just a bonus. Next, we're going to select the die we are going to use to roll. The number of dice we can use is based on our focus. Right now, our focus is on 1, so we're going to choose this blue die here to give us the best shot. We can also add die by eating fruit, so let's go ahead and eat this fruit here. We're going to add this one to our roll, and let's go ahead and give us a good shot, and we're going to eat this fruit and give us another spot to roll here. Now we are going to roll our dice that we've chosen, and we have to roll the danger die for this round. Right now we're on round 1, so we need to add this danger die to our roll. Let's give this a good shake. We'll see what we get. Okay. Now on this roll, we rolled 2 of these synergy icons. They do not match the shield we need. The question mark is actually wild, so this can work towards the shield. And we have one of the X's on our danger die. When you roll the X on our danger die, we are forced to lose a die from our roll. Or you can block it with a shell. We are going to block losing our die with our shell right here. When we use this, we place it on our shield card here, and we don't lose any die. So since we rolled this wild, we have already completed the challenge. We could push it and roll again and try to go for a second shield because we want to increase our resilience here. When you do the reroll, you can choose to set aside however many die you want and re-roll however many dice you want. So let's give this a re-roll here. We used our shielded black. Let's roll these. And there we go. We got another shield here. If we roll the danger die, lose our die to the general supply. I still want to block it because I don't want to lose my dice right now. We're going to use a shell to block losing our die because we want to keep it for now. So let's put this on our shield card here. Since we have matched our 2 shields here, we will move our resilience up 2 spaces, 1 for each matching success we had. Our dice that we spent here, that we didn't lose to the general supply, will go to the spent dice side of our player board here. And since we completed the challenge, this card will go under our player board under the matching icon here for the Chronoseum, which is this middle spot here. We're going to slide that here, and now we have our completed challenge here. Now, if we used a card like this and we weren't able to match all 4 of these, but we were able to match a couple, we would still gain the benefit on our player board here to move those up a couple spots, however many we matched. We do not complete the challenge, so we won't get the victory points listed here at the end of the game, and we don't get the benefit of a completed challenge card. There is some advantages to attempting challenges in the game so that you can get your traits upgraded. One last thing to note is because we completed a challenge on the Chronoseum here and the judge is on the Chronoseum, we will be able to go up 1 space on the champion board because the judge is so impressed by our amazing abilities to complete that challenge that we go up 1 space here. Now, when you complete a challenge on your turn, if you end up with 3 unique completed challenges on your player board here, you will be able to move up 2 spaces on the champion board as it says here on your player board itself, and we would move our person up 2 spots there. Now, the trophy icon throughout the game means you can move up the champion board. Last but not least, we can send our character to go fight the monsters in the fold. We can choose either spot we want to go and which monster we want to fight. We're going to go for this one and gain our 3 shells from that spot. Here's the monster we've chosen to fight and his card. To the left of the name of the monster is a symbol that shows what the monster is weak to. So this monster is weak to the fighting style from the Chronoseum. There will also be monsters that are weak to the Lamar Stadium fighting style, and there will be monsters that are weak to the Droska Ring fighting style. Now, you will get an advantage for having completed challenges in this fighting style, fighting against this particular monster. So if we look on our player board here, we have completed 3 challenges in the Chronoseum style of fighting. The bonus we will get by having completed challenges in the monster's weakness fighting style is that we will get an extra bonus die just for fighting the monster. So if we had completed only 1 challenge in the Chronoseum fighting style, we would get 1 bonus novice die. If we had completed 2, we would get a bonus initiate die of my choice. We have completed 3, so we actually get a bonus elite die of our choice. If we had 4 or more completed, we would get a bonus guild die of our choice. Over on this side, you will see what we need to match on our rolls in order to damage the monster. So we would need 2 resilience, 2 spirits, and 2 synergy rolls. Now, these circular ones that are enclosed and on a white background, this can be damaged with a novice dice or higher. Now, these spots up here require a higher level die in order to place damage on this monster. For this one, we would need an initiate die or higher. It's the colored background. This one right here, we would need an elite die or higher. It's the black background. The trophy icons for each of these means that if we are able to place damage on one of those, we would be able to move up the player board by 1 space. So we are going to try to damage this guy here. We are going to check the fighting style to see if we get a bonus die. We have completed 3 challenges with the Chronoseum, so we'll get this bonus elite die of our choice to add to our fight here. Next, we're going to select the dice we want to use from our active dice area based on, again, our resilience. Right now, we can only commit 1, but we can eat a fruit and still add a second one to our fighting roll here. And just like before, we are going to roll these dice along with the round danger die. And so we'll give this a roll. And we have 1 of these, 1 of the shields. Question mark is a wild. We have our danger die here, which would make us lose 1 of these dice completely from our roll, but we're going to shield it with our shell here. and we have managed to take a couple of hits on this monster. When you have successfully matched, we are going to place our hit points here on those spots. So we have a shield here, we have this spirit icon here, and we were able to do one of our armored spots here, sending this guy up one space. This card will then this monster isn't killed yet, but he will stay there. Our dice that we use to roll are put back into the general supply here. Now, if you were to be the person who killed the monster and remove it from the fold, all the players who have hit points tokens on the monster will gain the reward shown on the monster, and all of the hit tokens used will be stacked next to the fold, and you'll score 1 point at the end of the game for each of your hit tokens. And if you are the person who kills the monster, you will gain 1 space up on your champion board. So if I actually finish this guy off, I would gain the initiate die, which would be the red or the blue, my choice of which one I want to keep. It would go on the active spot. We would get rid of the card itself. These will stay next to the side here because each hit point will give us 1 victory point at the end of the game, and this monster is removed from the game. Now each player will take turns until there are no more action tokens for a player to take, and then the round will end. First thing we do on the round end is to see if there's a monster invasion. We will roll the invasion die here. If it lands on a 1 through 5, this bottom monster will invade, and if it lands on a 6 to 8, this top monster will invade. So this top monster's invasion says every player will lose a die. For each player who doesn't have a hit token on this monster, they will lose a die. If you have sustained damage to this monster, you will not lose a die during the invasion. Next, we will move our monsters. This bottom monster will flee. We move this one down and add a new one to the top spot here. Next, we can refresh and upgrade our dice. Again, this is based off our resilience. So right now, we can refresh and upgrade one of our die. We're gonna pick this blue one here, upgrade the initiate die to the next level, which is the elite die. So we'll grab that. We'll grab this. This now goes in the active side, and we can use it on our next turn. Next, we're gonna collect our action discs that we had used to play on that round. The judge will move to the next island in clockwise order. So he's gonna move down here. And if you are the leader on the champion board, you will place one of your hit tokens on round 1 here. And we will then advance the current round marker to the next round. And at the start of round 2, everyone will collect their next action token to be used. The danger dice from 1 is removed from the game. And danger dice 2 is now the one we will use for round 2 and 3. The game will continue to play in those turns and rounds until we're at the end of round 4. There are no more players to take any actions left. For our end of game scoring, we're going to use our scoring sheet here. And because we're just doing the basic beginner setup, we're just going to score these items here, nothing with the asterisk by it. So let's start with this first line here. We are going to score for our completed challenges. As you can see here, we have all of our completed challenges. The victory points are listed in the bottom right corner of each challenge. So we are going to score up all of those points. Next on our list is score the total of the highest points reached on each trait dial. So the victory points on the trait dial are denoted on the outside of the rim here, not the number on the inside. So here we would get 2 victory points for our synergy. Here we would get 2 for the resilience. Down here, we never made it up to 1, so we get nothing here. And for our focus, we would get 1 victory point here. Now, if your dial is set in between 2 points, you will get the lower number of the victory points. Next, we're gonna score for the champion board. First, we're gonna score for our rank on the champion board. So our hero here got first place. They will get 3 points. Our hero here got second place. They will get 2 points. If there is a tie for the ranking here, you will add the awards up and split them evenly between the players rounding down. So if 2 players tie for first place, you would add the first and second awards, which would be a total of 5 points, divided by 2, and each player would get 2 points each. Next, we'll get points on the champion board advancement itself. So this hero got 6 points. This hero passed the 4, but did not make it to 6, so they will get 4 points. Last but not least, we need to score 1 point for each hit token we have placed on our spot here for our leader bonus. So this hero would get 1 point for round 1, 1 point for round 3. This other hero would get 1 point for round 2. Next, we are going to score 1 point for every monster hit. And remember, we piled up all our hit tokens from the fights between all the players. So we're going to count those up and add them to our score. For the monster hit points, you will also get points for any monster that hadn't been killed. So any hit point tokens that are still on a card, those also count towards the end scoring. Last on our list is our goal cards. If you were able to accomplish either of these goals, you would get those points as well. So the person with the most points at the end of the game is named the new champion and the leader of the new group of Tidal Blades. In case of a tie, the player who has moved furthest on the champion board wins. If there's still a tie, the player with the most points from challenges wins. And if it's still tied, share the victory.
And that's everything I can show you on how to set up and play Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef Part 1. And I'll see you next time for the next game. Bye!